Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Yes, this is a late upload. I know, I'm sorry. I had a lot of stuff to do. Shout out to everybody who's subscribed to the channel and everything else. So, according to this, according to the fanboys, I'm biased towards the tech that's in the Xbox One X, and that I don't know what I'm talking about, and that this thing can do 4K 60 on every game, this, that, and the third. So, let's go ahead and watch this intro real quick, and then we're going to get into the main video. Alright, let's watch this.
And ways to improve the experience by the time the system is launched. I only say that because in its current state, performance isn't quite there using the high resolution mode. It first rears its head during this early cutscene. There's visible tearing along the top portion of the image that detracts from the presentation. Tearing that was not present on the standard Xbox One. It's remarkably close to hitting its target, however, which is why we do have some hope that it will be corrected by launch. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to test these same sequences using the 1080p mode, but it would at least likely solve the problem. Of course, it's also true that these cutscenes do tend to be quite demanding due to the sheer number of effects in play, the detailed models, and the constant camera cuts. This is clearly one of the high points of the game, visually speaking. Tearing and slowdown aren't exactly the kind of thing you'd want to see while watching the story though. But if it were just limited to the cutscenes, it would be less of an issue overall, right? Well, unfortunately, at least for the moment anyways, that's not really the case. It starts out promising enough. This battle in the lab runs without a problem and gives us hope that it's going to run great. But as we transition to the next scene, we start to see some problematic performance issues again. Just after making your way out of the building, you run across this campus, and the tearing starts to rear its head once again. It seems especially severe when trying to unfreeze this girl who was simply trying to escape from the Monarch troopers. So how does this same scene fare on the standard Xbox One then? Well, impressively, the entire area runs without a hitch on the older hardware without exhibiting any tearing or slowdown.
And with that being said, let's start the video. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, late upload. I know, sorry. I had a lot of things to do, like I said in the intro. But let's go ahead and get this out the way. Now, before anybody jumps out their seats and immediately hit the dislike button, listen, I'm not about to destroy this game. I'm going to be very fair and very critical, but at the same time, very positive towards the game as well. So let's go ahead and get into this. Quantum Break. You know how I stand with the game. I thought this game was beautiful when it came out. I thought it looked visually great. The facial animations looked good. The problem with the game was not necessarily the facial or the graphics. It was the other things that was the problem. Number one, the story was gimped for a TV show. Number two, the performance wasn't really that great, and the powers was misleading compared to when we first were shown back at E3 prior to that year. E3 prior to that year, we saw the game. It looked 3 times different, 3 times more, fluid, and the movements looked faster, and the game just ran like a charm. It looked great. You know what I'm saying? They obviously changed things for the final product, and we didn't really get the final product, that represented what we saw at E3.
Aging target. Anybody see him? Just advance.
Gotta get to that pier.
We've got a visual on Joyce. He's gone.
But the game looked good. I thought the game looked good. The problem also with the game was not only was the mechanics a little off here and there, but they had a few things that shouldn't exist. Number one, why should I have to rewind the time to open a door back to when it was open, yet in that very same cutscene I saw you open the door with your bare hands with no powers? You know what I'm saying? It's stupid. I didn't understand that. That made no sense. Stuff like that takes you out of the immersion. It's called immersion breaking at the end. The AI in the game wasn't really that great also. I kid you not. You guys need proof? I can show you Angry Joe's video. I'll link that in the description below if you want me to. But the AI wasn't that great in this game either.
I mean, it's a cover-based shooter without a cover system. Honestly, without the time powers, the game would be downright awful. And with these sorts of time manipulation from the main character, you would think that maybe the default AI would be programmed a bit smarter than they are having to deal with you.
Okay, I feel better. The hell is going on over here? Wait, you were there the whole time? I thought this was the sniper shooting me. Oh man! Oh man!
Wasn't. It was you know, it was a pretty good looking game, but looks can only get you so far, if that makes sense. It only can get you so far. You need a game that performs well as be good. So, but anyway, let's get into why we're here. The Xbox One X version of this game was shown. The specification, well, not specification, but the overall performance has been shown. Now, they do have a 1080p 30 mode. Yes, they have a 1080p mode. Not really 1080p 60, but it's like a 1080p 30. Now, before people jump out and see, go, aha, Xbox done and retarded. Listen, okay, Quantum Break is a very, very, very demanding game. Even on PC, if you ran a 1080, if you're running this game with a 1080 or a 1070, or hell, even a 1060, this game would not hit 60 frames per second. You can't hit 60 frames per second with this game, not even on PC. You can hit 4K, sure, but you're not touching 60 frames per second on this game. This game requires just so very much. And that's the problem also with the game. The game could have been so much more better if they actually focused more on the performance aspect and got everything else out the way. You guys saw in the intro, the screen tearing. It's not really that great, man. It's not that great. Screen tearing is... like this, God, I'm sorry. It's just I'm all over the place, man. But it's not that good. But the screen tearing is bad. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. Okay. Even in gameplay situations such as him going through the campus and interacting with the female, you know, you saw in the world, you saw how bad it was jumping. It's not just cutscenes. This game is acting like this. Now, keep in mind, I know somebody's gonna say this might not be the final product. Okay, sure, it might not be the final product. Hopefully, they can iron out the glitches. But for a representation of a game, especially when people are hyping up 4K assets and don't even know what they're hyping up, like say, you know, dudes saying they're going, oh, you're damn sure, right? You know, salty pony, because you know Forza is 95 gigabytes, you know, gigabytes of storage. I'm like, you do realize that's a racing simulator, right? Racing simulators are not demanding and shouldn't be that big. That's absurd. That's almost over 100 gigabytes. We're not even counting the patches for anything else. We don't know the size for Rise of the Tomb Raider. We don't know the size for this game. We don't know the size of Halo or Gears. So, yeah, I take that in consideration, people. Take that in consideration. But in terms of this whole performance, right? The performance just ain't there. It looks okay, but it was even more sad, though, was the actual performance if you compared it to the standard Xbox One. The standard Xbox One ran at a 30 frames per second. It ran smooth for the most part. It ran smooth. I don't understand this. How are you getting these type of results when the base hardware is running it better? See what I'm saying? And they have a better CPU. Keep that in mind. The CPU in the Xbox One X is better than the CPU in the Xbox One. So they should have better frame rates than this. Obviously, the GPU, different story. GPU is going to create more problems, or because of the CPU, really. But the GPU is a higher, performing GPU. But at the end of the day, you need a CPU that can handle that. And that's where Microsoft cheaped out at. They cheaped out on the CPU rather than just, I don't know, cheaping out somewhere else they could. They cheaped out on the CPU. Now, I mean, at this point, man, I don't really see the point of the Xbox One X. I really don't. I don't see no justification that really says, you know what, this thing's a beast. I really need to buy this console for this game, or this, that, and the third in terms of multiplats. I don't see no justification that really makes me say, spend your money. But hey, if you guys see the justification and you guys see a reason to buy it, buy it. Have fun, buy the console, enjoy yourself. But me personally, I will not be buying it at all. I have no reason to buy it. I see no incentive to buy the console. But I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, just throwing that out there. People might not agree with me, but hey, that's part of being a content creator on this channel. Okay, that's part of being a content creator. I'm gonna give good feedback and I'm gonna give bad feedback. So that's just how it is, man. Okay, if you're somebody who just buys something because you just want the best, hey, there you go, buy the Xbox One X. But again, keep that in mind. You're only getting slight increases. Slight increases. You're not getting something that we all wanted. Remember, this is the We Heard You console. This is the We Heard You console. Then we would have a 1080p 60 mode for every game. That's something that we need for consoles, especially now. We're past the point where pretty graphics are going to entice people. Of course, it's going to work for the 5-year-olds on Crap Gamers comment section and the morons, you see in my comment section that, are just begging to be benched. But, pretty graphics are going to get you so far. But again, pretty graphics, we're past that. We're at the point where we're in cruise control with these consoles. PlayStation 4 is almost at 70 million. We're in cruise control. We have games. We're looking forward to games. As you clearly saw with Tokyo Game Show, there's a lot of games coming, and that's just from Tokyo side. We have Paris Games Week, and we have PSX. Microsoft, what have they shown to really justify you paying for a new console? That's my thing. A lot of you fanboys simply can't answer that. Yeah, sure, you can give me your speech that you want the best of everything. That's fine. Again, that's fine if you want to buy it for that. But for all the fanboys screaming that people are biased and people don't know what they're talking about, you still have not shown me any justification, nor have you given me any incentive to buy this console, and you still haven't. And that's my thing. That's the problem with gamers on the Xbox brand. People like you guys are becoming a joke. And I'm sorry this video is going to ramble on a bit, but that's just how I feel, man. That's how I feel. That's it, though. I'll catch you guys later. You guys be good. I'm out, man. Deuces.
So how about Xbox One X? Well, in moving to the new system, the temporal reconstruction technique returns in full force, with an increase to the base resolution. Essentially, we're looking at a 4x boost here with a base pixel count of 2560 by 1440. Yep, 1440p.